Haiti, city volunteers held a distribution to hand out 160 tons of rice to 8,000 needy families. City's Rhythms monthly magazine celebrates its 15th birthday by holding a photo exhibition in Kaohsiung. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. We kick off today's program in Central America as the rice donation from Taiwan has finally arrived in Haiti. City volunteers plan to distribute the 160 tons of rice to help nearly 8,000 impoverished households. With help from the local Boy Scouts and United Nations Jordanian peacekeepers, city volunteers held 2 distributions in which they handed out rice to those in need.
Rice from Taiwan has finally arrived in Haiti, and at the distribution site, besides city volunteers and local residents, Scouts de Haiti and soldiers from the United Nations Jordanian Peace Troop came to offer assistance.
I'm so happy because we are participating to this this festival. It's like festival.
A total of 160 metric tons of rice arrived in Haiti, and at the Scouts de Haiti Center, city volunteers distributed 500 bags of it to the needy.
Very smooth, everybody very happy, absolutely no problem, excellent. Just everybody really enjoyed it.
Carrying out a distribution in the restive country of Haiti is not easy. City volunteers first had to survey the storage points and the distribution sites to make sure they were suitable and safe. At Sun City's Sakala community, over 20 high schoolers were waiting to help transport the rice off the delivery truck as it arrived. The distribution of 500 bags of rice at Sakala went just as smoothly as the other events.
My honor today to represent global city volunteers to bring the love to the Haiti, to here, Sakala.
After everyone listened to a reading of Master Jinyan's words of blessing, local residents received their aid. A free clinic was also held as city volunteers not only look after the residents' stomachs, but their health as well.
Next, in Guatemala, consecutive days of heavy rain in early September led to widespread flooding and mudslides. Since the affected area most consisted of poor rural villages, many residents were left homeless as a result. As Nova Concepcion was among the hardest hit areas, city volunteers accompanied by government officials and military personnel arrived to survey the area in hopes of carrying out a distribution as soon as possible.
In Guatemala, consecutive days of heavy rain in early September led to widespread flooding and mudslides. Nueva Concepcion on the southern coast was the hardest hit. Thus, city volunteers made the area a priority in their disaster surveys.
The water flooded in from the port over there. Several houses closer to the water were flooded. We have nowhere to move to, so we live beside the house.
In Playa de Tecojate, where the river meets the ocean, the downpour happened at high tide, causing a rush of seawater which destroyed the foundations of homes and left residents homeless.
Many areas were affected nationwide, and the government is unable to help everywhere. I hope Tzu will be able to assist the victims in recovery.
The affected areas is extensive, and many houses in low-lying areas, dilapidated to begin with, are now flooded, leaving residents facing terrible living conditions. With the help of the mayor and the military, Tzu quickly finished the disaster survey, and the volunteers said they are preparing to take the next step as quickly as possible.
Since 2012, Argentina city volunteers have paired up with the Red Cross to carry out free clinics in the town of Gualeguay, some 200 kilometers north of the capital of Buenos Aires. The kindness and compassion of the doctors and many local volunteers deeply moved the patients, who responded by gratefully donating to the bamboo coin banks on site.
Prior to the start of the free clinic, doctors and staff are introduced, after which everyone, regardless of faith, joins together in prayer. Since 2012, Tzu in cooperation with the local Red Cross, has been carrying out regular free clinics here in the city of Gualeguay, some 200 kilometers north of Buenos Aires. Volunteers at the clinic come from all walks of life, such as Chinese medicine doctor Liang Yongjie, who arrives with his student, a father-daughter couple, Gao Kunhe and Gao Yuru, who together see patients awaiting treatment, and a husband and wife team, Miguel and Alicia, frequent participants at Tzu's events, despite living some 400 kilometers away from Buenos Aires. It is the spirit of these volunteers and others like them that inspires those receiving treatment to donate to the bamboo banks on site, one of which had its bottom fall out due to the weight of the coins within. Volunteers also hold a tea gathering to further explain to local residents the organization of Tzu and its missions. Many are inspired to either donate their time by signing up as volunteers or donate material assistance like Patricia, who donated hundreds of pairs of shoes to be sold at Tzu's next charity auction. Although Argentina is far away from Taiwan, it is clear that the Tzu message here holds the same power to move and inspire all those that hear it.
In 2002, Jakarta experienced one of its worst floods, with water surging past the riverbanks of the Angke River, leaving the thousands of residents living along the river homeless. In response, Tzu volunteers came together to clean up the river and also built DaAi villages to relocate residents to safer grounds. Over the years, volunteers have successfully raised the level of environmental awareness among these villages and even inspired local governments to use the DaAi village as an example for future public housing. Let's take a look. Residents of the DaAi village know well of the saying turning garbage into gold, especially Sukimon and Arib, who both work at the recycling station as part of Tzu's relief work program.
It is such a waste to throw these away, so why not gather them to recycle?
Once living in the slums on the Angke River, it was not until they moved to DaAi village that Sukimon and Arab realized the importance of recycling and thus began promoting the idea to other villages.
We once spoke to the residents of Angke River and told them to recycle instead of throwing garbage into the water.
Those living along the riverbanks team up to carry out a large-scale cleanup each week. Though the idea is simple, the work is more difficult than it seems.
There are many who travel through this street throughout the day, so it wouldn't be good if it is dirty.
With Indonesia's monsoon season falling between November and March and causing severe flooding each year, local residents began to realize that the garbage was not only influencing their overall environment, but also blocking the drainage system.
Our most important goal is to salvage all the rubbish so Angke River will remain clean. The garbage brings mosquitoes to the village.
Moreover, the polluted and filthy environment also created a negative image of the country. Photos on the internet of how garbage covered the Angke River gave many a negative impression of Jakarta. We're standing right where these photos were taken. We can see that after restoration, there is still some rubbish in the water, but overall significant improvements have been made. In January 2002, torrential rain flooded the riverbanks of the Angke, leaving thousands homeless. Chinese entrepreneurs came together through Tzu to carry out a river restoration project, as well as build DaAi villages. It is hard to imagine that some 300 years ago, the same river was a war zone between the Chinese and Indonesian people.
Residents have slowly gotten rid of their habit of throwing things into the river. At our DaAi village, 2 days of the week are Tzu days, which means that villagers bring unused items to school. If a father is throwing things away, the child can educate their parent.
Beginning this year, the government of Jakarta also implemented projects to restore other rivers. The plan includes dredging Ciliwung River, one of the biggest rivers in Jakarta, as well as Angke and 11 other rivers, and installing detention ponds. In addition, in a 10-year plan, the government also hopes to build 100,000 public housing units to relocate residents to safer grounds.
The idea to build 100,000 government housing units originated from DaAi village, which they will be using as a reference.
We are learning from Tzu Chi. It is not just about relocating residents, but also teaching them how to live and be good people.
The dream of a secure home and better future is coming into the picture. Once known as the Black Heart of Jakarta, the Angke River was also the center of racial war. However, the local Chinese community and city volunteers, through carrying out projects to restore the Angke River, has won recognition of the local government and also successfully raised environmental awareness among the general public. In our next report, we see how residents in Aceh are doing 9 years after the Southeast Asian tsunami. Forest ecologists share a sentimental bond with the Taiwania, a tree species named after Taiwan. Forestry students during the course of their classwork are sure to study the Taiwania. As part of their curriculum, they often have to climb the tree itself to conduct research and collect samples. Thus, many through their close interaction with the Taiwania have come to love this extraordinary tree. Here's more.
It is the tree species which most represents Taiwan.
As it was discovered in Taiwan, it's the only plant named after Taiwan.
Taiwania, Taiwania.
Although the Taiwania has survived here for millions of years, its existence was unknown during that time. It wasn't discovered until 1904 when Japanese botanist Nariaki Konishi found a specimen and handed it over to Japanese botanist Professor Hayata Bunzo, who gave the plant its current nomenclature.
The Japanese felt that the Japonica existed first, so they referred to our Taiwania as the Asian Taiwania, and its discovery place was also named after it. This Taiwania here was personally planted by Professor Hayata.
Hayata's granddaughter visited Taiwan a century later, and from the tree she found remnants of her grandfather's past. This Taiwania, having traveled through time and space, represents an heirloom for generations to come.
Thank you for settling here almost a century long, giving us such a good environment. Thank you for your contribution. I hope it will continue for more centuries to come.
Its survival through centuries was not easy. Apart from withstanding the tests of nature, these trees faced extensive felling for their wood, resulting in a scarcity of the species. Yet, for those in love with the forest, the Taiwania holds a special place in their hearts.
We often heard Professor Liao Rijin speak of his visits to the Zhiben Mountains during his inspections. He had heard workers talk about a vast Taiwania forest nearby.
A few scholars decided to seek out this Taiwania forest that the professor so often spoke about. It was said that the largest Taiwania forest was located at the Twin Ghost Lake area near the junction of Kaohsiung, Pingtung and Taidong. Not only is this area situated deep in the mountains, there are no roads that lead there.
We had to walk along the valley. The path was very wide. We often encountered fog and the forest was very dense. Without a GPS, if you strayed off the path, you didn't know where you were.
Although 11 years have passed, the memories remain vivid. These scholars overcame challenges and their self to turn legend into a reality.
We unlocked a piece of the puzzle. What's extraordinary about the Taiwania is that most people assume that it is scattered among the cypress. To be able to populate such a vast area, it's truly remarkable.
During the expedition, the scholars discovered traces of human destruction. Subsequently, the area was designated a natural reserve by the government, so to protect the forest and safeguard the nearby people.
The vicinity is considered sacred ground by the Lukai, as it is believed that chopping trees from the area will result in a massive collapse of the land, which poses a threat to them.
Sharing a deep connection with the land, if you listen closely with your heart, you can feel the Taiwania without using language or speech, safeguarding the forests of Taiwan.
In today's report on Taiwan's 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award, we meet recipient Leland Lee, who at 24 years of age is already an international sensation for his artistic talents. Just by looking at Lee, one might only see a person who suffers from autism, but early on in his life, Lee displayed a talent in being able to vividly recall his memories through painting. His talents have earned him invitations to art galleries worldwide, and using the medium of painting to express his thoughts and emotions, he invites us into his world. Let's take a look.
This is Leland Lee, who at the age of 10 was recognized as a gifted artist by the Los Angeles Times, and it's the 100 Remarkable Kids Awards.
When he was 2, he would constantly draw on the walls in his room. Even if you didn't give him a pen and paper to draw, he would still move his fingers about as if he was drawing.
Born in the United States, it was at the age of 9 that teachers noticed Lee was able to draw and recall what he had seen. Lee was only 11 years old when his paintings were first featured at the former BGH Gallery in Santa Monica, California. Despite his talents, Lee was diagnosed with autism before his 2nd birthday.
The doctor told us he will never walk and talk like a regular person or live the life of an average Joe. At the time, we all hoped he would talk to us instead of draw.
However, seeing how motivated Lee was in drawing and painting, his mother slowly changed her mind.
He's very dedicated in whatever he does and doesn't complain. In competitions, my son doesn't care if he comes in first or second, so he goes by the slogan of any time.
Anytime you can cry, anytime you can blow, and anytime you can walk, and anytime you can draw. And like red, gold, white, silver, and blue.
In Lee's paintings, one is able to see the creativity poured into them. Moving to Taiwan from the US, Lee realized he had a talent for the guitar as well. The guitar accompanied the young artist during his adjustment to a new environment, a place where he didn't understand the language. For Lee, it's much easier expressing his thoughts and emotions through singing and painting.
I feel happy, I can draw, and I can go swimming, and I can play guitar. No, you don't need to. I want to talk. I want to put your hands on mommy. Put on hands with mommy.
Yeah, okay. This achievement is an acknowledgement and encouragement to him. I also hope young people suffering from the same condition in Taiwan can be encouraged by Leland and thus find confidence in their lives. I hope Taiwan's society can give people like Leland more chances and opportunities to learn.
This year marks the 15th anniversary of the Rhythms Monthly, a magazine published by the Tzu Chi Foundation. Over the years, the magazine has received 37 Golden Tripod Awards, the highest media award in Taiwan. Starting from October 9th, Rhythms Monthly will be holding a photography exhibition at the Kaohsiung Cultural Center to encourage members of the public to rediscover Taiwanese society and culture.
These are the pictures captured by Rhythms Monthly over the past 15 years, a face of Taiwanese society and culture.
Taiwan is considered as a developed country both socially and economically. We can make this country a better place by purifying people's hearts, and to do so, we need to focus on humanitarianism. We want to help readers rediscover Taiwanese society and culture.
This is Chen Zhaohe, who has been a loyal reader of the Rhythms Monthly for the past 15 years. He says the articles inside the magazines have broadened his global perspective and helped him rediscover Taiwanese society and culture.
经典杂志它的每一篇文章
The articles written in Rhythms Monthly are very in-depth, but the writers have also explained the content in a simple manner. The articles also include discussions and debates by experts in various fields.
都会一并写下去。
To celebrate the 15th anniversary of Rhythms Monthly, other than holding a photography exhibition at the Kaohsiung Cultural Center, a new book based on the topics of discovery, exploration, humanities, and care will also be published. In the years to come, Rhythms Monthly will continue bring global perspectives to its readers.
In Vietnam, as part of their monthly visits, city volunteers once again arrived at a local nursing home to bring love and care to the senior residents there. The volunteers not only seized the opportunity to prepare delicious meals, but also accompanied the seniors in heart-to-heart talks as a way to offer emotional support.
Grandma, city volunteers are here to visit you. We're here to visit you. Hope you stay healthy.
Today is the day that these residents have been looking forward to for over a month, as they will have an opportunity to enjoy a delicious vegetarian meal and warm companionship.
Other charity organizations also visit us. However, they all have particular goals. Many of them may be lottery winners or successful businessmen who want to spend their extra money. Tzu is different because you come here regularly and show us genuine care and love. That's what makes your organization so special.
Yuguang Temple in Ho Chi Minh City watches over nearly 100 senior residents. As Tzu volunteers pay their monthly visit, the room is once again full of laughter and song. What these senior residents need the most is a little bit of warmth and care. After serving the seniors lunch, the volunteers accompany them in their rooms.
Bao nhiêu tuổi rồi? 53 hả? 53.
Here you can find others' company and they can help look after you. There are many people out there who don't have anything to eat or a place to live. At least you still have your friends here, so cheer up.
Treating each senior resident like their own parents, city volunteers shower these residents with warmth and love.
We go to Malaysia at the end of today's program, as Diwali, a Hindu holiday also known as the Festival of Lights, is just around the corner. City volunteers in Kuala Lumpur and Selangor organized 17 aid distributions for their Indian care recipients to help them get ready for the upcoming celebration. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.